It says it's still preparing, so I'll wait for confirmation. You can tell me if it says live up there.
It does.
Yep, there we go. So here we are.
Here we are. Hi, stranger. How are you
Yeah,
doing?
I'm still doing good. Feel like the walls are shrinking a little bit up here.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah. So
Not easy
greetings to
on an
every.
extrovert.
No, not at all. So greetings to everyone. We wanted to provide this for you. We're calling this day 4 of our COVID Chronicles. So this is a live video. We're broadcasting from our house. Sister C's on the lower level, and I'm up here in the dungeon, the tower, the tower, I don't know, tower of pain.
Misery.
But I'm doing good. We wanted, yeah, but I did want to provide a serious update that, as I was yesterday and the day before, I'm still basically at the same place. No advancement of symptoms. So I'm thankful for that. Thankful for your prayers, and I believe they are working. I don't know about you, Renee, but I would say if I knew I was going to be getting COVID and in this position, I don't know if things could be going better, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, so thankful that there's no progression of symptoms. I know you told me yesterday, I asked you, obviously I've been pestering you to death, asking you every 5-10 minutes, how you feeling, making sure you're doing breathing exercises and eating everything I bring up and leave outside the door and all of that good stuff. So I remember I was asking you, some very specific questions, and your response was, if I hadn't have had a positive test and I woke up feeling exactly the way I feel right now, I would literally be going about my normal routine. I would be at the gym, probably getting a workout in, and then just proceeding on with a normal office day. So, I mean, yeah. So it's awesome that you feel good. I'm so thankful for that. And so thankful for that, that there hasn't been any progression of symptoms. So, and in truth, I was actually thinking about this too. I mean, we've all kind of dealt with the sinus and allergies that are typical for this time of year.
Yeah.
And no reason to believe that that any of that was related to COVID. And it sounded like from your conversation with the health department official that, there is no reason to think that that was related. Our sister-in-law, who's the nurse practitioner, said that it's possible that we dealt with sinus allergy, maybe even a common cold, and then you were exposed to COVID and caught that she is seeing that that's very normal after she's had a lot of patients who have sort of had the common cold, and then obviously their immune systems are a little bit weakened, and then they're exposed and kind of catch it. So just said all that to say, basically at this point with me, seeing you, talking with you through the door, or seeing you when you open the door to get your food and I'm standing far away, you actually look like you feel better now than even what you did, say a week or so ago, dealing with the sinus and allergy. And I guess maybe it was a cold, I'm not sure, but I mean, you look normal. So
sure.
I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah. So I'm going to run a great risk, and I'm going to say this. Renee has done an outstanding job taking care of me. It's really
Apparently
weird.
I'm a bossy caregiver.
Well, thou sayest, dear, thou sayest. I wasn't going to talk about that part of it, but you doing a great job taking care of me, and it's odd, not having, the normal liberties that you would daily. Somebody I was talking, I think it was a Sister Toller today, and it's like, it's kind of hard to put your finger on what the experience is like. It's, kind of like a bed and breakfast slash hospital slash insane asylum slash prison. So
Yeah.
I am keeping my cell really nice and
Right.
clean,
Yeah. I don't know what that makes me. Am I the doctor, the warden, the nurse,
all, yeah, all of it
the person bringing the straight
combined.
jacket? I don't know.
But I'm doing, you have to, I want to get like your report on how I'm being as a patient. I think, and again, this goes back to a conversation I had with Sister told earlier. Typically, men are really horrible patients. We don't get sick as often, or it seems that way with me. So it's like this temptation to either cash in and milk it for what it's worth, or we're just horrible patients.
Oh,
And I've been guilty of that, but I've worked really hard during this
yeah.
situation to be a good, and I have a list. It's kind of like, I put out this list of what I need, with stuff, and it's not just chips and drinks and stuff. I'm actually asking for cleaning supplies. I'm still waiting on the vacuum cleaner.
Like, listen,
So
I've been up and down the stairs so many times. The last thing I want to do is lug a vacuum cleaner up the steps.
We need a lift. We absolutely just need
Yeah.
some kind of conveyor belt out this
Yes.
window or elevator. So
Yeah.
if you would update the people, because I know most of them are probably more concerned about you than they are me. So please tell them how I'm doing as a patient.
Let me think about this. Choose my words carefully. No, you're doing very good. I will say, and you're right, it's very rare that you get sick. So if I were to compare this experience of you being sick to like year 1, 2, 3, 5, maybe even 7 to you being sick, this is a cakewalk so far. Like, yeah, very, very, very good. I mean, but there again, I have to say, technically you're not feeling bad. So I don't quite know how to rate it, because like when you actually right, when you do feel bad, it's a whole other story,
Yeah.
So, but no, you're good. You're good.
Awesome. Well, thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you. So, just basically letting everybody know we're the same. The girls are doing fine. So we really did enjoy the Bible study last night. We're appreciative of everybody that was tuning in, and we're going to be online obviously this Sunday, and then there will be no service on Wednesday. No a video or anything for Wednesday. It's just for the Thanksgiving holiday. So we just want to remind everybody of that. So yeah. Anything else you want to add? We'll try to do this again, maybe tomorrow, and just hopefully we won't have anything progressing to report.
Hopefully it'll be right.
Some jokes or some fun.
Hopefully it'll be the same reporting.
No,
I mean,
I will show you this. This is kind of crazy. This is my current, pain or torture or whatever you want to call it. And Brother Martin's been texting me, kind of making fun a little bit, but this is a very powerful candle. I usually light these at the office. If you've come to the office, I like a good scented, manly scented candle. I don't like girly candles. And so this one is called Focus and Patience, which is probably something I could really use right now. But I can stick. Now, a couple of days ago, that was like nothing. But I don't know if it's my imagination, but I feel like maybe just a little bit is coming back.
Oh, wow.
I even felt that in the coffee earlier. So maybe that's some improvement. Like I am getting a hint of something.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it may be psychological. I don't know. There might be somebody out there saying that's just all in your head, but I'm definitely. I think maybe I'm on the other side of that and get my taste back, so I can taste
Well,
that
I know
wonderful
you'll be
hamburger that
so
you made
happy
last
about
night.
that.
Yes.
Yeah. I know you'll be so happy about that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we're kind of making light right now, but it's certainly not to be like insensitive, or anything. I mean, but the reason, maybe I think one of the reasons that we're doing this is because in talking with people on the phone, obviously, there's people within the church that are very concerned, as well they should
Yes.
be. We've
Sure.
had those moments ourselves. And if I'm very transparent, um, during the day, it's just it's as normal as it could be, with your husband having to stay like basically locked in one room, but there's kids here to take care of. It's like the normal household activity. There's food, there's meals that has to be made, there's laundry to be done. There's like all of this stuff that's going on. And so I feel like, at least from my vantage point, we're handling the days like very well. And I know that you've been resting very good at
Yeah.
night. And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing for your well-being, to give your immune system,
Yeah.
the best chance to like be at rest and fight any inflammation that's going on and all that. But speaking transparently, the last 2 nights when the kids have gone to sleep and I know that you're sleeping and I'm trying to wind down to go to sleep, that seems to be the time that, my mind is sort of battling a little
Yeah.
bit with like those what ifs and like, a little bit of those anxious thoughts and stuff. So I will say, like, it's kind of amazing that we've been doing, the Sunday evening Bible study, that we've been focusing on these topics so much, because even as much as we try to live by them every day, to kind of almost have this crash course Bible study,
Yeah.
I feel like everything is so fresh in my mind, in my spirit, that when those thoughts have tried to like infiltrate, last night, the night before, it's kind of like I've had that arsenal, I think,
Good.
to kind of draw on.
Yeah.
And so I'm very thankful for that. Conversations with Brother Katracina and Brother Peckle yesterday were just so encouraging and edifying. I mean, they shared scriptural wisdom and just different things. I mean, and they might not have even realized like what they were sharing was ministering so much, but it was. And so
Yeah.
I'm like really, really thankful for that. So as much as we are like, being a bit comical right now and making light, I mean, it's definitely, it's not to be insensitive, and
Sure.
we're not foolish to think that, we might not have to deal with some symptoms like later
Yeah.
on.
Very
I mean,
true.
we're being hopeful and positive, that you're going to continue the course that you are, and doing everything that we can to keep me and the girls, um, covered as much as we can with preventative care and all of that. But please definitely keep those prayers
Yes.
going up for us, because we recognize we're not out of the woods
That's
yet.
right.
I did think maybe I've gotten really good feedback. I've shared with a few people that I've talked to or texted with, like the things that were recommended for
Yeah.
us to do for preventative care. And so I don't
Yeah.
know if you want to touch on that like right now, but I know we had even talked before related to the Sunday night Bible studies of sort of putting together, with the help of our sister-in-law, Misty, who is
Yeah.
a nurse practitioner, kind
Yeah.
of what she's recommended for preventative care. I know Sister Brenda and Brother Steve
Yeah.
are on a
Absolutely.
really good regimen. And I looked at the message that she sent to you, and there's definitely a lot of overlap. So it
Yeah.
might be something that we could kind of put together and share on House to House, because
Yeah.
some of the response, that I had from people was like, oh, wow, well, maybe we'll actually do that,
Yeah.
so
No, I
just
like
one
that.
of
I
those
think
things.
that's a great idea. I think we could.
Very
I
good.
think we could do a maybe include that in tomorrow.
Okay.
Plan to do an
Awesome.
update tomorrow, and I could even work on presenting the list so it's on the screen so that everybody
Yes.
can see it. So yeah,
Yeah.
let's do that and talk about it, because that's a good idea. I mean, you want to be proactive.
Mm-hmm.
I know Brother Isaac's been taking some vitamins as well. I talked to him on Sunday. It was kind of an interesting thing. He woke up Sunday with just like I don't know, like an urge to take a vitamin, you
Yeah.
know. And so
Yeah.
he told me about that on Monday, which is pretty interesting. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be great to share some of those things that Misty and others
Mm-hmm.
have and I appreciate the fact that you said that about joking, because we are laughing, and there are nothing wrong with laughing,
Right.
nothing
Yeah.
wrong with
Mhm.
I mean, it's a way of coping, a way of
Absolutely.
kind of getting through it and
Mhm.
breaking the monotony a little bit. But yeah, we do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Obviously, by our actions, we realize it's a very
Mhm.
serious situation. We
Yeah.
want to. We're glad it's where it's at, and
Mhm.
we just keep praying that it's going to stay
Right.
basically here.
Right.
And at this point, it looks like it is.
Mhm.
My
Right.
my
Right.
brother Kenny, who, as you know,
Mhm.
got tested positive for COVID a few months ago,
Yeah.
and he told me on the phone Monday that he received the loss of taste and smell, and I want to say within 24 hours he
Absolutely.
was he was starting to experience flu-like
Yes.
symptoms, and
Yeah.
so I'm well beyond that threshold,
Right. Right.
and I haven't failed. And honestly, every morning, Renee, I've told this to others, and I guess I'll go ahead and sell this video, but every morning I honestly get up with a mind of kind of inventory of how I'm
Right.
feeling and what it,
Yeah.
like you see so much, you hear so much, you're thinking, okay, well, any day now it's going to hit me. And then I
Mhm.
get up, it's this morning, and I do my same routine. I get up, stand up, and, I realize that I rested good throughout the night, didn't wake
Mhm.
up any in the night, no fever, no chills, no anything. So
Right.
very,
Right.
very thankful for that. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I had some messaging with Misty too, just trying to track, like where you're at and what you're dealing with compared, which I know everybody is so different, and it sounds like every case is so different. There's like a general, timeline progression, but again, we do recognize like there are no guarantees even based on where you're
yeah,
at right now, but yeah, like what she said is that Kenny he just felt a little off one day, and then like he lost the taste and smell,
yeah,
and by that next day he was very, very sick,
yeah,
very, very sick,
yeah,
fever, chills, coughing, extreme weakness. I mean, she said even to the point, that he struggled to um just like get to the shower,
yeah,
and so definitely like what she described is so vastly different than what our experience is. And I think in that, again, I mean, I feel like I'm trying to be so careful so that it doesn't seem like we're being insensitive, because obviously we recognize there
yeah,
are so many people that have suffered with this,
yes,
that has not ended well, and we recognize that it's still possible that us or somebody that
yeah,
we love dearly will experience, a much worse situation than
yes,
what we're dealing with. But if I'm thinking about like how we've been talking about everything, like in that Bible study series too, is, you know, sufficient is the day is the trouble thereof. And so
yeah,
it's like this is the reality that we're dealing with right now. So the worst thing that we could do is like try to borrow tomorrow or 2 days or three
right,
days or like next week's troubles. Like
yeah,
whatever they are, they're there and we'll arrive at that point eventually. But I mean, today I've gone around and opened up, various windows. The temperature is very nice, so we can do that. Opened up blinds to let the sunshine come in. Just thanking God for a beautiful day, for the fact that for today, we're all still feeling physically well.
yeah,
And I think that's about all we can do is just take it
absolutely.
like as it comes. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
where my mind is.
we're talking about Bible study. I did want to bring just a scripture today. Last night we were talking about 1 Peter 2, 1 and 2, I believe it was, just a powerful setting and such applicable meaning. And I opened up the Bible today And I'm looking in that same chapter, and I come across this verse, and I just want to read it to you all. It says in 1 Peter 2:11, and this is the New King James translation, but it says, "Beloved, I beg you, as sojourners and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against your soul, having your conduct honorable among the Gentiles, that when they may speak against you as evildoers, they may, by your good works which they observe, glorify God in the day of visitation." And I wanted to read this little note here from this particular Bible that I'm reading, and it says sojourner, with root words para, beside, and okios, a house. This word describes someone who sojourns in a land without the rights of citizenship. They do not quite belong where they live and are viewed as outsiders. Abraham and Moses wandered in the land not their own as they awaited the promised land. At the moment of salvation, Christians who were once periokos to God and his people change their citizenship to the kingdom of heaven. From that moment, they do not quite fit in on earth because their true home is in heaven. And so that just, that really spoke to me this morning as a gentle reminder, especially during times of great frustrations and things that we want to see change here, but we are truly should be in an assumed position of a sojourner and pilgrims. And Peter was wanting us to have that mentality. The crowd that he was writing to, who was being persecuted heavily, he wanted them to assume that mentality of being just that what really matters in this world is not the standard of this world, but it's what's beyond this place. And Renee, I was thinking about, when I thought about pilgrims, I started thinking about trailblazers, and then I started thinking about the word pioneer.
Yeah.
And if you'll remember, and I may get this wrong, you can fact check this. I'm sure Facebook is doing that anyway. But if you look at the word pioneer, I think that's the word that Brother Osborne said is the combination of the word peon and pawn. Peon and pawn. And he gives the image of a pioneer as someone who is all about the next generation. It's not so much about what they're doing and what they're able to accomplish, but they're willing to sacrifice for the next generation, for those that are coming up behind them. And that ministers deeply into my heart when I think about the history of the Keystone Apostolic Church, and I think about the future of the Keystone Apostolic Church. Here we are in the middle, and we have to be careful that we're not just trying to make an initial impact when God's people has always been given the power to make an ultimate impact. So those are just a few of my thoughts on that scripture. And I'd like for you to comment. Tell me what your thoughts are on this.
I thought about, just when you were talking, explaining that, I thought about, was it Paul that said, I'm willing to spend and be spent?
Yeah, I thought about that this morning too.
Yeah, it's not fun to feel like you're being spent.
Yeah.
Or for a larger cause, but it's necessary for the work to continue, and I feel like it is a very deep test, I think, of calling and leadership. I could really be transparent on that. Maybe I shouldn't go that far, but it's like, if you're in a position where it still feels like it's all about you and what you're building
Right.
and what you're accomplishing, and
yes,
it's like to build your name and your reputation.
Yes.
And I mean, certainly we all want to leave some kind of legacy behind. There's nothing wrong with that, so
yeah,
and I think probably you and I, like, we try to be very conscientious of that. Like, that's a strong motivation
Absolutely.
for us. I mean, everybody is motivated by different things. And
Yes.
for us, that is something that's a big motivator in general. But I mean, if I look back on, the 7 years that we've been here, it feels like we're being spent for
Yeah.
something. Like it actually has been an extreme stripping
Yeah.
down of so many different things,
Sure.
So, I mean, I hope that that means, that God is going to build something great. And when I
Yes.
say that, it's not, it's so not about like a building, some big,
Right.
whatever. It's just not about that at all.
That's true.
But I mean, I do hope that He's taken us and like the Keystone Church through what certainly feels like an extreme process, and we've all been
Yes.
spent, our desires,
Yeah.
like our, personal thoughts, like, I mean, just all of that. But I hope
Yeah.
that means, that we're at the point that He can use us in any
Yes.
way that He knows is like
Yeah.
beneficial for the next generation.
Right.
What would it
I
look like?
think
Well, yeah, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
think I think sometimes our problem stems, as what you said. It's 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 so tempting to just be selfish about the now
Hmm.
and not consider the future.
Yeah. And to not
But
even
when we're
realize it.
but when we are truly the sojourner, when we're truly the pilgrim that we're supposed to be, we live in a way that leaves a legacy
Mm,
of ultimate rather than initial.
mhm,
The church always has to think about that in making decisions.
mhm.
I one of the governors said today, I'm probably going to butcher this, but one of the governors said, I think it might be South Dakota, and I don't even want this to be politicized because I didn't take it. I mean, I realize the political implications, but I thought, wow, what a quote! I even posted it on Twitter. But the lady said, "We're about solutions that do good, and not about reactions that feel good
Oh,
or overreaction." And I thought, wow, and I really do believe what's happening at the Keystone Apostolic Church is not only having an impact now. We're seeing the results of impact now. But I think we're setting a trend and a culture that's going to be able to carry on
mm.
through the generations of Annalise, Victoria Rose, Elizabeth, Aaliyah,
Mm,
Cassidy, all these, Gideon, all these precious babies. We have to think about them
mhm.
when we're going through difficult times.
Yeah.
So I
Mm.
appreciate your time today, Sister C.
Well, basically all I have right now.
Thank you for joining. I hope maybe this has been a blessing. If you do you have anything else that you want to add, as far as the devotion or even
Mhm.
what we're experiencing here before we go?
Well, I love with what you were just saying, like looking into the future with Keystone, I thought about like an additional element to that, because like what you just named would be like generational growth within the church. It's like
Yeah.
it's our children,
Yes.
it's other members' children. And that's so awesome that we're actually seeing like a stabilization of that, like
Yeah.
generational growth. But then what's so amazing too is that right along with that, like happening at the same time and in very stable ways, is also like growth that's not generational church
Right.
growth. It's
Yes.
actually just the winning of the lost.
Right.
It's the evangelism arm working in the
Yes.
church. And
Absolutely.
and then I could even go beyond that and say, like, yes, that's happening. We're actually seeing, meaningful conversion experiences, but also within that, we're seeing like the process of discipleship. So to me, it's like you know, if I look at Keystone now and we're really honest, you know, obviously things have been turbulent, you know,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of stripping down, stripping away. Like it's just, there's a lot that doesn't necessarily on the surface just look like
Yeah.
great growth. But if you look beyond like that first surface layer,
Yeah.
there are some things that are happening that it's so special to have happening like all at the same time. Generational growth, powerful conversion experiences, and discipleship growth. I mean, that's like the trifecta, you
It
know, I
is.
mean, like that, those are
Yes.
the signs of a very healthy,
Yes.
spiritually healthy, emotionally healthy
Yes.
body. You know, that
Yes.
we have like people who are willing to invest into others to help the discipleship
Yes.
process. You have the spirit that's able to work among us, that sinners can be drawn and like, you know, um, feel conviction to the
Yeah.
point of significant change. I don't know, just all of that. It's a super special time. So I'm excited like for the future. I mean, I was texting with one member earlier and just, it really is kind of amazing to entertain all of the possibilities that could be with
Yeah.
with where Keystone is right now,
Yes.
with the
Yes.
future that does like lie ahead, with the fact that we have like a unified body that loves each other, that wants to be a spiritually healthy church,
Yeah.
and is also very passionate about, you know, soul winning and open to embracing new
Yes.
people. And I don't know, it's just all of that. So it just, even in spite of some of the challenges, it really is a very exciting
It
and
is.
special time of opportunity, I think, if we
Yes.
all stay on the right track together.
And let me conclude by saying this. I think even though I don't like the fact that we're having to discontinue the in-person services for now,
Right.
I do think it's going to work to a benefit when we come back,
Yes.
because I feel like our appetite for
Mhm.
being back together, our
Absolutely.
appreciation will be even greater, and
Mhm.
we're just going to continue to see this thing go. So
Right.
thank you all for your prayers. Thank you for reaching out to us, and we look forward to doing this tomorrow. So we'll see you later. God bless you. Have a great day.
Do